Welcome back to the Top Shelf Literary Editions. This is episode 78. I want to thank you for joining me. My name is Ernest Whiteman III. I'm a Northern Arapaho filmmaker, artist, writer, and media educator. And we're taking a look at the top shelf of my book collection today. I have a pre-selected book. I'll give you a short synopsis, a review if I've read it, and the reason why I purchased or received the edition. So, let's take a look at today's book. U2 by U2. U2 is probably my most favorite musical band. I know they get a lot of hate for their hypocrisy and their irrelevance, but I don't think their relevance to pop music is something they've chased all too often. I think their meaning to their fans is what they've been chasing lately, or at least to themselves, because I know a lot of hardcore U2 fans don't like the music they're making today. They always want things to be the Joshua Tree or Achtung Baby when you can't replicate those albums anymore. So they're just making music to please themselves, and they hope people understand it, which is, I don't know, from what I understand, musicians should be doing. This is a book written in, let me get the publication date right. Sorry about that. I'm looking through this and it should have a publication page, but it doesn't. Some time ago, and it's actually written by each of them, and it deals through their history up through their, I believe, No Line on the Horizon, which doesn't include their last two albums, The Songs of Innocence and All Songs of Experience. But again, they're my most favorite band. My brother Alan introduced me to them when he came home with a cassette of War from when he was in college and played it, and I immediately took to it. Then he bought the Joshua Tree when it came out, and I sort of stole that from him. And then I went on and started to collect my own versions. He came back with 78s of The Unforgettable Fire, Wide Awake in America. He had those two albums, and he just kept playing them at the time. And believe it or not, they were my inspiration for getting into filmmaking. It's an uninteresting story, but I wanted to be a film editor first. And it was because of these guys. And this tells their stories from the time they grew up in Ireland and their origins as a band, and takes them through all the ups and downs of being a band. And again, I understand the U2 hate, the Panama Papers and all that. But to me, they still make good music. The relevancy be damned, because at some point we got to cope with our own irrelevance. And the fact that we're still screaming about irrelevance, I think, is the number one marker of that. We're personally, on a personal bend, we're sliding into it. I've accepted my irrelevance long ago. But people forget they grew up during the Troubles of Northern Ireland. They don't consider themselves a punk band, but they were heavily influenced by the punk attitude of doing it yourself. And they went on to become, at the time, at their peak, the biggest band in the world. But the music business as it is, nobody can lay claim to that anymore, I don't think. Because I can't really name a big band that I know all the members to, that I've consistently seen them in the popular media for years and years and years. So music has become trends rather than, tastes. And taste is the enemy of art, as Bono is well known for saying. But again, my favorite band. I understand the hate, but I really dig the music, and I really appreciate the story, because they grew up in conditions similar to mine, believe it or not. There was a government that was out to oppress people and keep them in segregated areas, and based on their not only their culture but their religion as well. So That's why Scots and Irish really connect to Native American peoples, I think. So that's U2 by U2. And that's on today's top shelf. Thanks for joining me. I will catch you next time.